a Halloween requel that removes every single Halloween film after the first Halloween movie, that removes the brother and sister connection between Michael and Laurie Strode, that brings back Jamie Lee Curtis, that is done in the same style and tone and everything of John Carpenter's original masterpiece. Wow, this movie might be something worth remembering. Those were my thoughts when I first heard of the announcement for the film that would eventually become Halloween 2018, a movie that was directed by David Gordon Green. Now, when I heard that David Gordon Green was directing this requel, I wasn't too sure what to think. This filmmaker was primarily known for doing comedies, such as The Pineapple Express and Her Highness. But I do remember that before he got famous for doing those movies, he started off as an indie director, that the stuff was more, less comedic in tone, more like, kind of like slice of life dramas. Like the very first film he did, I saw of his, was George Washington. It was about a group of kids, I think, just living life. And I don't really remember the film too well. I saw it a long time ago, but I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a decent movie, like a good start, for a first-time director. It was really, at least in comparison to his later films like Low Budget and Grounded and all that. And in his following film, I saw, which I think I liked a little bit more. I think it was called All the Real Girls, and I think that was the first time I saw Zooey Deschanel in anything. And that movie was an indie drama as well, but it also was a love story, but a love story done in a more realistic type of way. This film was not your typical love story. It was a much more somber, more heavy, more realistic affair than most movies that have to deal with the subject of two people falling in love. And in the ending, I really appreciate the ending. Didn't have your typical happy ending. I don't believe I've seen any of his comedic movies. But I do believe he was connected creatively to the show Eastbound and Down. I really did enjoy that, at least for most of the series duration. But yeah, when I heard he was doing Halloween 2018, I thought, okay, this could work. Then again, this could not. But things can't get any worse than Halloween Resurrection. So at least so I thought at the time. So I gave him a chance and hoped for the best. And the film came out. And I saw it, and at the time I was really impressed by what I saw. Actually, I was really impressed by what I saw. In that moment, if you had told me what was the best Halloween sequel at the time, I might have really thought it was Halloween 2018. And I'm someone who actually really likes some of the Halloween sequels, but it definitely would be in contention for sure for being the best Halloween sequel. Visually, I loved how it looked visually. I loved the brutality of the film, the intensity of the film. Jamie Lee Curtis reprised the role as Laurie Strode masterfully. She just didn't skip a beat after not playing the character for about 20 years. She just excelled, like always, in that role. Doing a bit of a different take with the character this time around. A more hardened, more assertive take on the character, but still very much felt fundamentally like the character. You do believe that this version of Laurie, who is 40 years older than the character in the first film, you still believe this is the same character. There's not one of these legacy sequels or requels or whatever that you have the character come back. You see them on screen after many years, many decades, and you just feel nothing like their previous iterations. Perfect example is Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. That character, I'm sorry, that is not Luke. There are flashes of Luke, but that is not as a whole Luke. Luke would just not be that jaded, not that disillusioned, even with everything that he went through off screen in the time between Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi. But that's maybe I'll get into that one day. My feelings on the Star Wars films, particularly those sequel trilogy films. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, as always, she's just fantastic. The rest of the cast was awesome in the film as well. The acting was strong across the board. Like I said, visually it was great. The Michael Myers was awesome. James Jude Courtney is easily up there with Nick Castle and Tyler Mane as one of the greatest Michael Myers of all time. James Jude Courtney might be my favorite. Like his intensity, his Michael Myers is extremely intense. Very much in the same way that Tyler Mane was, but the thing about James Jude Courtney, Michael Myers, why he might be my favorite of them all, is he infuses like the brutality of the extreme intensity of Tyler Mane's Michael Myers, but also infuses the trying to find the right word, I guess the stealth, the supreme stealthness and creepy ghost-like quality of Nick Castle's of Michael Myers. Like he combines two of the best Michael Myers into one, but also does his own thing with it. He's just he's also fantastic in the role and very memorable and easily one of the highlights of this whole entire trilogy of the David Gordon Green Trilogy. The character work in this film, like in terms of the writing, is pretty solid. The reason I'm not saying thoroughly solid is that there is one character that sticks out like a sore thumb, the character of Dr. Sartain, and has nothing to do with the actor who played the character. He was good. It's just he came across as this Dr. Loomis knockoff that wasn't all that interesting, that felt forced and out of place. And then when he took that, it was pretty clear that there was something up with the guy that was not quite right. When he takes the sinister turn in a later part of the film, it just didn't work. It just felt forced and contrived. It felt like he was part of a different movie. Like the movie did not need his character at all, and that's the one big problem with the movie. Some of the character work is well done. I would say most of it is well done with Laurie and her family and some others, but some of the other character work isn't so great. Like the stuff with Sartain. There's other minor characters in the film that I could have done without. But besides some of the character work, that's a mixed bag. Even though it's more positive than not, some of the dialogue in this film is cringy. It's cringy and just nobody talks like that. They'll have some really good moments of dialogue. That'll stick in my mind for a while. It basically is almost everything has to do with what Laurie says. There's not one wrong moment with Laurie, not one false moment, not one weak moment. She's strong across the board, her character through and through, what she says. But some of the other characters, some of the humor that's injected in the film, I get it's David Gordon Green, and of course he's going to try to inject some humor, even in something that's as serious as Halloween. And I don't mind that. I don't have a problem with that at all. There's humor sprinkled all throughout the Halloween films, even since the very beginning. But some of it works, yes, and some of it does not, and just I don't know. And then the ending of the movie, the very, very ending of the movie, not the climax itself, I think that's well done. And I thought it would have been a really good definitive closure. I thought it would have been a really good definitive closing of the film with this particular climax ending, because at first when this film was announced, they were saying that this was going to be a one and done. They were not saying anything about a proposed trilogy. It was just this was going to be the one and done. We're going to go back to we're going to continue Halloween as it should have always been continued. Forget all those sequels, forget about the connection with Michael and Laurie being brother sister. That whole connection, I never liked it. I never liked it. It just felt so, it just doesn't work for me. It just felt so forced. And all of a sudden, there's this brother and sister connection out of nowhere, and just they didn't really even do anything with it. And the whole thing just pretty much came out of nowhere. There's John Carpenter had said that it just popped in his head. He didn't really have any ideals of what to do with a Halloween sequel when he was writing the original Halloween Part 2. And he thought, why not? I need some way to expand this lore, and so I'll go ahead and make them that they're both siblings, Michael and Laurie. But John Carpenter, he said from the very beginning he never liked the idea. He just did that because he didn't know what else to do. He said he never liked the idea. And he's not the only one. There's other people who never liked the idea. I never liked the idea, though I definitely know there are fans out there who do, and who lamented the fact that it was, retcon out of the continuity of the Halloween series. but it just doesn't work. Like, it also makes it like it retcons the first film, like there was some purpose to Michael stalking Laurie in the first film, and the thing that works about the first film that makes it so horrifying, that it was so random. What happened to Laurie and her friends was so random that it could have happened to anyone. That's really scary. I mean, it's really scary if someone targets you too. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's just something about it was just, them being in the wrong place at the wrong time on the wrong day, you know. And when you recontextualize that into, at least in regards to Laurie, it was this purposeful thing, and he's never gonna stop chasing her as long as she's alive. And I'm like, why does Michael want to kill her so badly? And then there's like reasons in the sequels of why he needed to do that, like retcons here and there, which I just never liked, never bought. But yeah, they were talking about how, this is going to be the real sequel to the first Halloween. And we're going to retcon all the other sequels, and we're going to give this the closure that this, series deserves, that this lore deserves, and I really like the sound of that. But there was a part of me thinking, are they really going to follow through with this? Is this really going to be the last Halloween movie? And not like the last one ever. I knew at some point, they would remake it somehow, redo it. But at least in terms of this continuity with Laurie Strode and Michael, like, this is the last word, that's it. And even though there were other things beforehand that, retcon stuff, like Halloween H2O. That was like the very first, like, I guess. Well, no. Actually, no. The first Halloween 2 was the first retcon in the series, with the whole thing with Michael and Laurie being siblings. But I guess in a real major way, the first real retcon, in terms of like ignoring sequels, was Halloween H2O. That was like the first one. And so, but this time, will be the last time we're going to be doing that. The whole ignoring sequels thing. This is the definitive one, the last one. But of course, when Halloween 2018 opened, and opened to huge numbers, massive numbers, that Monday, following its first phenomenal box office weekend, there was the official announcement there will be a sequel to Halloween 18. Not just one, but two. This will now become a new trilogy of Halloween films. Like, oh, God. No. And the thing is, I knew it before I even heard that announcement. Like, when I saw the ending of Halloween 2018, the problem I had with the ending was, like, the way how, like, everything was so well done with the fight between Laurie and Michael in the house, and then later on with her daughter and granddaughter helping out, and just the final image of, like, what was supposed to be the final image of, like, Michael and Laurie facing each other for the last time. Now Michael's like trapped in that basement, and it's erupted in flames, and Laurie's just looking at him, like, above him, just, I finally got you, And they could have just faded to black right after that. But no, they had to continue, and I didn't, not so much that I mind continuing, that wasn't the thing. It was like, so they get in the back of the pickup truck, and Michael is supposedly burning in the house, and they're like they're slumped in the back of the pickup truck and just all emotionally spent and all that. And I think it was Laurie, I can't remember who was holding the knife. I think it was Laurie who was still holding the knife. But like it zooms in, on the knife. And then I think it's a freeze frame or something. I can't exactly remember. But then it fades to black. And the way how they did it was like, the zoom in was like ominous and like basically in a way that was like, this is not over, and I'm like, yeah, I could smell a sequel coming. I was hoping it wouldn't, but this is a setup, man. This is a setup. I know it. And yeah, it was confirmed that it was, that Monday after I saw it. And I was not thrilled. I was not thrilled at all. But even with the announcement of the sequel, I was still thrilled with the film itself. Like, I really, really liked it a lot. I would say close to, at least at that moment, borderline loving it. Yeah, there was parts of it I did not like, but overall, I thought it was a winner. Like, I was really impressed with it. Wanted to see it again as soon as possible. And I remember, like, I was reading online how a lot of people really liked the film. But it was this segment of people, not a huge segment at the time, was like, it was good, or it was okay, but, and it had a whole host of issues. And then I was seeing some people saying how They thought that the original Halloween 2 was a much better film, and I thought, what? Like, no, that's crazy. And I do like the original Halloween 2. I actually like it more now than I ever have. Um, but I said, no way. Like, Halloween 2, the original one, is a good movie, but the 2018 film blows it away. And like Halloween 2, like Halloween 2018, so awesome. There was only one other film to me that was that felt like it was just as good and still might be a little bit better than Halloween 2018. That's Halloween 4. I really like that film a lot. In fact, I would say I love that movie despite some issues here and there. I'll talk about that film at some point in the future and the other Halloween films, the earlier ones. But yeah, at the time I just couldn't believe like how other people could be disappointed by this movie. Like, I didn't think they should think it was the greatest thing ever. I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever, not even close. But I thought it was like just super impressive, at least for what it is. But then I saw it a second time, and it wasn't that long after it came out. It was like maybe, I don't know, 2-3 months, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. But I'm like, I don't know, my feelings on the film like took a severe hit. I still enjoyed it, but nowhere near as much. Like, all the flaws became more apparent, or ones that didn't spot before. Like, its flaws just became a lot more apparent. The ones that I already discovered the first time I watched it, and then other ones that I discovered watching it for the second time. I don't know, it just didn't work for me as well as a whole. Like, it was just, like I said, the script, like the errors with the script, the flaws with the script, were just a lot more glaring. And I also remember someone saying too, like the script wasn't as original as people thought in terms of like, at least in one regard, like Laurie, struggling with PTSD and struggling with alcoholism. Even though it doesn't really factor heavily into this film, her issues with alcohol, but it was done before in Halloween H2O, and I forgot, like the whole thing with Laurie suffering through severe PTSD, how that creates a wedge between her and her family, her and her child specifically, her dealing with alcoholism, which was delved into more in Halloween H2O. Like, all that was done, before. Like, there was nothing novel about it in 2018's film. And some people thought it was done better. And in retrospect, at least in regards to the alcoholism, I thought that was handled better in Halloween H2O. Now, the whole conflict with her kid in H2O was Josh Hartnett, and inside the 2018 film was a retcon, and it was Judy Greer. I thought both of them were handled excellently. Like, I can't say really one handled it better than the other. Remembering that aspect of H2O did make me look at Halloween 2018 with a little less, I guess, favorable eyes. I don't know. Just to this day, like, I still think the movie is solid. I still think the movie is good, but nowhere near as good as I thought. Like, now I could easily see why someone thinks the original Halloween 2 is better. I would say in a number of ways the original Halloween 2 is better now. I don't know as a whole, but I can easily see why someone would think that's better, or Halloween 4 is better. It's still easily one of the better sequels, none, without question. If someone thinks it's the best sequel, I would not argue with that person, because I thought that at one point. Or at least one of the, like, it could be in contention for the best sequel. The repeat value of this film is not as high as I wished it had been. Sometimes that happens with movies. You watch them again, and they just don't hold up as well for a number of reasons, or just for one single reason. And this would be a theme that would continue throughout the whole remainder of the David Gordon Green Trilogy. Like, the theme of disappointment. The theme of, diminishing returns. I just did not know, like, how deep that would go. Until the very end. Because the sad thing was, in this trilogy, Halloween 2018, this was as good as it ever was gonna get.